All right, greetings everybody. My name is Jimmy Leslie. It's an honor to be here at the NightLife in front of the Philippine Coral Reef. What a setting. We're going to be doing the Guitarfish Adventures. I'd like y'all to know that we do have a table over here, all kinds of information on the Guitarfish Festival that's coming up. There's a Blue Hootenanny coming up this Sunday. Basically, my people, it's the marine and music communities coming together. I'm very happy to have you here. This is my friend Jeremy Hoenig. He's going to be playing some drums for you tonight. Got my first mate over here, Kay. Now I'm going to turn this over to my good friend, Cat and Les, who wrote a story called The Guitarfish Adventures, Volume 1. Blue is the New Green. Forward by my funky friend, Bootsy Collins. Chapter 1, Go with the Flow. In the Pacific Ocean, off the coast of California, a guitarfish named Jimmy Pinlegs grew up swimming in his home school. When he strummed his strings, waves of sound rippled under the Golden Gate Bridge and faded into the San Francisco Bay. The young guitarfish wanted to play with other musical fishes and form a band. I want to jam, man, he shouted, hoping to be heard, and he sang one of his songs. Sailing in tonight, sail over the sea. Under the Golden Bridge, where we chose to live, I see people who trying to see Sweetwater sun shine on the bay, yeah. Sweetwater sun, Sweetwater Sunday. The tune was inspired by a famous guitar player named Carlos Santana, who had jammed with Jimmy's great-grandfather, James Marshall Pinlegs, and he'd played with many other notable fishes of every size and color. But there weren't as many fish in the sea no more, and there wasn't as much music in schools neither. People was overfishing, taking too many fish from the ocean too fast. Many sea creatures was in danger of going extinct. The remaining fish had to survive with fewer instruments to play and less teachers to teach them. Luckily, music ran in Jimmy's nature. Boldness ran in his blood. My band's going to be the best in the 7 seas, he promised his family. He studied his scales and he learned everything he could about music by listening to his elders tell exotic fish stories of faraway waters. Skating across the reef one November evening, Jimmy heard glorious banging and booming sounds coming out from a hole. It was the sound of Inks, the octopus drummer. He was playing his drums made out of shells and skins. Inks was born off the island of Jamaica in the Caribbean Sea, and for many years he'd made his living gigging just outside of New Orleans. He only had to flee because nasty Hurricane Katrina came through and ripped up the Gulf Coast. Inks was green when things were cool, but he got red when he was mad. He could squirt out a dark cloud of liquid if he wanted quick cover. That's why they called him Inks. His long black hair was dreadlocked like licorice, and he played the drums like Jimmy had never heard before. He pulled up side Inks' bungalow to listen, and Jimmy was surprised to hear a voice with an accent say, "Hey man, do you want to jam some groovy music with me?" "I'm totally down," said Jimmy. "Say, what kind of grooves are you playing?" "Funky grooves, man. Funky grooves are the best for jamming and dancing. Come, you see, play this funky groove with me." When Jimmy started jamming with Inks, it inspired him to start singing. to rock to a Cajun rhythm. I like to roll on the open sea. Living a new age of discovery. Magellan ain't got nothing on me. But when the wind starts whipping and wasting, I need protection from the elements. And at the bottom of the wishing well, I need a place to dwell. In my shell, I get the feeling I want to. I can be myself for anyone that I want to. And I'm in my shell. In my shell. When they stopped grooving, Jimmy and Ink smiled, laughed, and slapped fins. Yeah, Guitarfish, man, them some fine licks you's laying down. Hey, what's your name, bro? My name is Jimmy Pinlegs, the Guitarfish replied. I'm down with your funky grooves, Inks. We should get a band together. Right on, man. Hey, you don't have a shell as far as I can see. Yeah, but sometimes I sure wish I did, replied Jimmy. Just then they noticed there was a gang of grouper fish hanging outside Inks' bungalow. The lead grouper, named Candy, batted her eyes at Jimmy Pinlegs and said, Hey, you guys got any gigs that we can come out to? No, not right now. We need to get together a full band. And she said, Oh, okay. Starting with a bassman, said Inks. Oh, well, I know about a Tide band from across the bay. They just broke up because some of them didn't make it back from the last tour. They got hooked. Sugar made it, though, the bass player. He's a big bad Manta Ray. You can hear him jamming from miles away. When you see him, tell Candy says, Hello, sugar. Right on, Manta agreed Inks. Let's go find him and see if he wants to form a band. Okay, so Jimmy and Ink squirted under the Golden Gate Bridge, and as they swam south, they began to decipher a thumping pulse coming up from the bottom of the bay. It was Sugar the Manta Ray playing his big booming bass. Oh man, that's fast, said Jimmy. Who's there? Said a big bass-heavy voice. My name Inksman. I'm a drummer. This guitar player, Jimmy Pinlegs, is a rad shredder. We're looking to form a band and we need a bass man. Mm-hmm, said Sugar. What's the name of the band, boys? That's a good question, sputtered Inks as Jimmy grabbed his tentacle arm and said, We don't have a band name yet because we don't have a bass player, so do you want to play some funky jams with us or not? Shucks, said Sugar. I've been searching for a couple of players that can get down in the cedar and bring up some funky grooves. Let's give it a go, y'all! Hey, I'm Sugar Ray. I'm the baddest bass player in the Frisco Bay. I come to play open-hearted. Come on, let's get this party started. Let's get it underway. Turn that crazy music down, you freaky fishes, hissed a Dungeness crab named Darlene. I've heard a band or three in my day. Used to be there were more bands around this bay than there were shells in the sea. But you better be careful today. You'll get swept up in the nets, or swept up and go nuts. The three musical sea creatures looked at her like she was insane. But they knew well enough about the nets. And since folks was pirating more music than ever before, the music business had got pretty crazy. Might as well sell your stuff to the prawn shop if you're just messing around, hissed Darlene. Then she lowered her salty voice and said, Take it to the surface, if you're serious. The surface was an unruly club out on Ocean Beach Reef. Lots of fishes washed in and out of the surf jams there. Jimmy, Sugar, and Ink set off that way. Tuesday was open mic night. Anybody who wanted to could come up and play. A small crowd of cool fish was hanging out at the surface when the trio arrived, and a lone green sea turtle gathered himself in the corner. As the three new musical friends took the stage, Inks released a curtain of fluid, while Jimmy and Sugar bounced some sound waves off a pair of tuna fish to get their guitars in tune. I could use a tuna fish myself. When the curtain faded, Ink started playing a second line beat. Sugar took to thumping. Jimmy started playing a G chord. Then he hit a melody. When Jimmy ripped a solo, the sound was swishing all around. Started singing, sit in the swamp with stuff, sit in the swamp. The hipster fish started clapping, whistling, and calling out, "Hey, what's the name of your band?" I'm Jimmy Pinlegs. This is Inks the octopus drummer and Sugar the big bad Manta Ray, said Jimmy, not knowing what exactly to say. The fishes clapped some more, and then they quieted down for the next act. The green sea turtle headed slowly but steadily towards Jimmy Pinlegs. "Good work, kid. My name is Graham. I manage musicians. Hey, I'd like to help get your band going and rake in a few sand dollars, you know what I mean? I toured all around the world with the band fish. Now, they were fun. They really knew how to go with the flow, you know? That's the key. Hey, what's the name of your band again?" The Flow, said Jimmy Pinlegs. Yeah, The Flow. Sugar and Inks chuckled. "I like it," said Graham. "Well, let's go with the flow," said Jimmy Pinlegs, and they all joined in. Let's go with the flow. Chapter 2, Sustainable Catch. "Follow me," said Graham. "Sea turtles are capable of riding currents that graze along shore and shoot out into open water. People catch lots of fish near the coast," he says, "so you gotta be careful. But open ocean can be really trouble too. I got hooked on a long line with a whole bunch of fish. They let me go though. You see, sea turtles are in danger of going extinct, so people aren't allowed to catch us anymore. Although sometimes they still do. But fish have to be extra careful, especially tasty fish, like tuna, which people eat the most. People like tuna fish so much, bluefin tuna, they'll eat it raw and call it sushi." "People would eat anything, man," said Inks. "They call octopus calamari. I hope I don't ever become no calamari, you understand me?" "Folks know better than to mess with me," said Sugar. "I float like a butterfly and sting like a big bad bass playing bee." "Slamming, Sugar," said Jimmy. "Hey, where we headed?" "To the most dangerous reef in the whole Pacific," said Graham. "It's absolutely swimming with sharks." "What?" "That's right, we're heading to Los Angeles, but it's cool right now, everybody can relax. We're in the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. There's a huge aquarium on shore." "I guess I'd rather be in an aquarium tank than on a dinner plate," said Inks. The Flow stopped by the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and the staff was handing out educational brochures, telling people which fish were in danger of going extinct and which weren't, telling them that if folks would just adjust their diet accordingly, fishing would be sustainable, lots of fish for everybody for years to come. Jimmy was surprised to learn that huge fish, such as sharks, tuna, and swordfish were on the endangered list. When the float was asked to put on a show in the big tank, Jimmy started busting rhymes to help get the message across. I got this one. Big fish, big fish, big fish. Let me tell you about the big fish. Sharks, they may be scary, and huge tuna fish got sharp blue fins. Swordfish have their weapons, and salmon sure can swim. But people need to understand that if they take too many, the big fish start to disappear. Soon we won't have any. Big fish? That's the word about the big fish. Everyone seemed receptive to the message. People clapped and whistled. Jimmy finished flowing. Soon it was time to get going. Graham led the float back out to sea where they came across the biggest creature on Earth, a blue whale. It made an awesome singing sound. Hey, I know that sound, said Jimmy Pinlegs. That's a whale. I can wail on my guitar, too. Hey, that's pretty good, came a big bellowing voice. Now try this one and lay into it with your whole soul. Cool, said Jimmy. Good, now you're wailing the blues, said Buddy. Cool, what's your name, big fella, said Jimmy Pinlegs. I'm Buddy Blue, pleased to meet you. I've been playing the blues for a long time. In fact, I'm one of the few blue whales left from my generation. Sure is good to hear you kids making music. You too, big buddy. Your blue sounds is way cool, said Sugar. We're the float, and we're swimming south. Well then, let's whale the blues and swim south. And Buddy began singing. Oh, I'm so blue. 'Cause I ain't seen my baby in so long. Oh, I'm so blue. 'Cause I ain't seen my baby Lady Blue in so many moons. And y'all don't see her around. Tell her to wail her sweet song my way. Send it my way, baby. Dear Lady Blue. Oh, that was great, said Graham. Way to blow. Yeah, man, added Inks. Okay, now it's time to move carefully, said Graham. We're beyond the rain of the sanctuary. We're coming close to Los Angeles. There are a bunch of tough sharks who run the reefs down here. My cousin is a blue shark named Barry, said Buddy. He runs a reef near Malibu where there's tons of famous fish. I'll wail some sounds that way and let him know we're coming. Buddy began wailing some blue sounds southward, but all of a sudden Jimmy saw rows of shiny objects in front of him, and he couldn't resist going after one. No, Jimmy, it's a trap. But it was too late. Jimmy took the bait, and the hook started hugging him towards the surface, tugging his head to the left and back to the right. The more he shook his head, the deeper it jutted into his jaw. Inks turned a bright red, and he jetted towards the line. He caught it with his sharp beak just in time. Scared and wounded, Jimmy wriggled free of the lure and he swam back where the members of the flow breathed a sigh of relief. "Thanks, Ink," said Jimmy wholeheartedly. "Next time, be more careful," cried Graham. Chapter 3, Everybody is a Starfish. "Welcome to Malibu Reef," said Barry the Blue Shark. He was Buddy's second cousin. Barry was sleek and slim, with big black eyes and huge pectoral fins. "How are you, Cousin Blue?" bellowed Buddy. "I'm still styling and smiling, cuz," Barry chuckled. "But I gotta admit, the reef ain't as happening as it was back in the 80s when Sunset Strip and Hollywood was really hopping and popping. There just ain't as many freaky talented fish in the sea no more. There is one exceptionally bright starfish, though. Her name is Diva. She's singing tonight. I could take you boys down to the Temple Sandbar and you could sit in with her." "Love the starfish, baby!" cried the singer with the red hair that flowed like lava over her fantastic orange figure. She was all by herself, grooving to the funky music over the speakers. The gathering of groupers, rockfish, seahorses, and clams was going out of its collective shell. "Thank you very much. I feel fabulous," exclaimed Diva, while Barry Brew approached her from the side of the stage and whispered in her ear, "Hey, I hear there's a cool band of cats called The Flow in the Reef House tonight. Why don't you boys come up here and back this girl up?" Graham nodded at the band and they waved to the crowd as they walked on stage amid Ink's foggy liquid haze. "Everybody's got something special," said Diva. "Everybody got to do their own thing." The band began jamming. Diva used her voice like a siren. Jimmy made the same sound on his guitar. Jimmy started stroking his fins super fast up and down his building fretboard. When Diva and the Flow crashed down on the last note together, it was like a sound wave smashing on the shore. The fishes flipped out and flapped all about like they was way out of water. "You kids made a killer connection out there," said Barry Blue from the side of the stage. "Let's see what other gigs we can line up for you guys." Diva was a solo artist, but she could tell there was a special chemistry with this crew. "I'd love to," she giggled. "I'm booked and busy, you know, but, well, I guess you never really know until you go with the flow, right? Give me a call sometime when you got something lined up. Who knows, maybe I'll call you or just drop in out of the clear blue." "Yeah, Diva, you can drop in with the flow anytime," said Jimmy Pinlegs. "My head is swimming," said Graham, once he'd gotten out of earshot and had Diva's digits. Y'all made a killer connection out there, but remember, starfish really do their own thing. The Flow gave a performance at the Aquarium of the Pacific in Los Angeles the next afternoon. They invited a few of the local rockfish down, and it turned into a deep jam session. The Flow made the short swim to San Diego's Birch Aquarium for a show that night. Once again, Jimmy did his big fish rap, and both the people and the fishes was enchanted. Jimmy had found his voice and his purpose. The Flow was going strong. But Inks was getting homesick. He hadn't seen his family since the storm had forced him to flee, and he missed them dearly. I totally love jamming and traveling with all of you, said Inks, but I need to see my mama and papa again soon. There's a great gathering in New Orleans every year called the Jazz and Heritage Festival, said Graham. We could head that way and your family could meet you there. Sound like a plan, Inks? Sounds like a plan to me, my wise old friend. Let's do it, man. Chapter 4. Blue is the new green. An old friend of Graham's named Amelia led a school of flying fish that operated Wingspan Airwaves. She was an awesome pilot, and she was happy to fly the Flow to New Orleans. When they got there, Inks' mom was waiting for them. Me baby boy, she cried. You look so good, all big and strong. You still playing the drums like your papa? Yeah, mama. Me doing fine, but I've missed you and papa so much. Where he now? We haven't heard from him since he went on tour with the Whalers last year, replied Inks' mama. I hope that you might have some news. I have a fear he'd been hauled up in one of them nasty trawlers that capture and kill all the plants and animals on the seabed. I haven't heard nor seen him neither, said Inks. But my band, The Flow, we just getting going. This is my friend Jimmy here. He's trying to get the word out to people. They need to be careful about their fishing, how much they do, and how they fish do. Bless you, said Inks' mama. People know that there's overfishing the oceans and polluting them too. The waters around Jamaica are not nearly as blue nor as full of fish as they used to be. I hear you, with respect, said Jimmy. I'll do everything I can to help. We're heading for the Audubon Zoo, said Graham. There'll be a lot of folks in town for the Jazz and Heritage Festival. When the Flow arrived at the Audubon Zoo Aquarium, Graham led them to a stage where a crawfish named Dr. Voodoo was playing keyboards and singing with a group of shrimp backup singers called the Scrimpies. I heard about you at the Audubon Zoo, the wild Audubon Zoo. The flying fish told the Scrimpies, and the Scrimpies was singing your tune. I heard about you at the Audubon Zoo, the wild Audubon Zoo. The pelicans, the alligators, and the catfish crew, they was all talking about you. There was all a buzz about you. All the creatures at the Audubon Zoo was buzzing all about you. About me? Said Jimmy Pinlegs. Yeah, said Dr. Voodoo. Yeah, my little G-fish brother. The buzz here at the Audubon Zoo is all about you. I hear you've been spreading the good word about us fishes across to the peoples. That's right, said Jimmy. I've been rapping about the little fish and the big fish too. Coolio, said Dr. Voodoo. You got any new tunes? Well, said Jimmy, when they was being led through the zoo to you, I saw all kinds of signs about people going green, taking care of the land that they live on. I got to thinking they should be going blue too. I mean, taking care of the oceans and the fishes so that we can all together be cool. I wrote a new tune about it. Want to hear it? Here it goes. In fact, why don't you join in with the flow? I'd be happy to, said Dr. Voodoo, and together they struck up the tune. is the new green. Blue is the new green. I'm talking to you about a cool new scene. Blue, 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 blue. It's a new green. Yeah. Hey, what I mean. Everywhere in the oceans, fish across the sea are disappearing fast, disappearing like the tree. There's still time to make it work if we could come together for the people and the fishes, for we're all except the worst. Come on, sing it with me. Blue is the new green. Blue is the new green. And I'm talking to you about a cool new scene. Blue, 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 blue. It's a new green. The people and the fishes smacked the walls with applause over the song's killer hook. They dug the funky beats and the groovy message. They were so into going with the flow. That was hot, said Dino, the dogfish lawyer. You know, they made a recording of that, and I think I could get you a record deal. Would you guys be down with that? They could play your single on Earthwave Radio, and then we could get it across to the people and the fishes. Heck yeah, said Graham. Let's hammer out a contract and get the flow on the go for reals. They took the recording with them to Miami, to the sea aquarium, where they had orcas and dolphins, figuring that they would be the perfect ambassadors because they was working with humans every day. The aquarium director there called the Georgia Director Aquarium. They started playing Blue is the New Green too. Pretty soon it was all over Earthwave Radio. Blue is the New Green was resonating all over the planet. You're not gonna believe this, said Graham, as he got off his shell phone. The President of the United States heard Blue is the New Green on the radio. He wants the flow to come to Washington, D.C. for a show. Holy mackerel, said Sugar. Can you believe it? Yes, we can, said Inks. The flow will play an extra funky jab for him. The President and the First Family was sitting in the front row for the flow show at Washington's National Aquarium. The band dug into a deep, funky groove. Dr. Voodoo and the Scrimpies sang along on the choruses. Jimmy did his thing on the verses, and he'd come up with a few new rhymes. Everybody wants to have waters that are pure, and everybody wants to think that they're part of the cure. Go catch some fish and let some go. Take only what you need. Leave some for your children and let some fishes be. I say blue is the new green. You know, blue is the new green. And I'm talking to you about a cool new scene. Blue, 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 blue. It's the new green. I like your grooves, said the President, and your blue message is important to the health of the whole planet. There are a few things I can do to help you. That'd be so cool, said Jimmy. It's an honor just to meet you. The President set up more marine sanctuaries, and he enacted laws about sustainable fishing. He also signed a bill to keep music in schools so more bands like The Flow could get going. Finally, he funded a festival in New York, with The Flow topping the bill so they could spread the blue word. Let's call it Fish Talk, said Graham. It'll be like the first big rock festival, Woodstock, only this time the message will be more than peace and love for your neighbors on land. It'll be for the ones in the water, too. That's a great idea, my green little friend, said the President. Let's get everyone involved. Chapter 6, the Fish Talk Festival. Thousands of people jammed New York's aquarium's Shoreline Clamphitheater to witness Fish Stock, where bands such as Fish, Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band, and the Whalers agreed to perform before the flow. They had to be brought in on a motorcade of seahorses. Inks was most concerned about finding his papa, who was last known to be on tour with the Whalers. He wandered around back behind the tank, asking everyone if they'd seen him. "We lost him a while back," said Family Man, the leader of the whalers. But a member of the band told me he got a call from your papa on his cell phone last week. He'd heard of the Fish Doc show and said he was on his way. We hope he makes it in time. Really, replied Inks. I hope and I pray to see him. When the whalers took the stage, sure enough, Ink's papa was on drums, and it brought a tear to Inks' eye to hear him playing the funky reggae rhythms of his Jamaican homeland. After Whaler's show, they finally connected. What happened to you, Papa? Said Inks. I got swept up in a trawler's net in the Atlantic, said Inks' papa. It was dragging along the seabed, gathering everything in its path. I was tugged to the top and then spread out to die on a fishing boat with thousands of other creatures. But I was very lucky. They had found enough of what they was looking for. I survived long enough and they threw me back. I heard your single on Earthwave Radio. I get here just in time for the Fish Doc show. Now it's your turn, my baby boy. Go tell them people what they need to know. I'll make you proud for sure, Papa, replied Inks. This was a special performance. The whole flow showed up for the show. Dr. Voodoo was on keys. He brought the Scrimpies with him to sing background vocals. Buddy Blue was there to wheel the blues. A few trumpet fish showed up to blow their jazzy horns. And just at the last minute, out of the clear blue, appeared Diva the Starfish. She wanted to sing too. Sugar was thumping and plucking his bass like folks had never heard. Inks laid down the funkiest groove of his life. Diva joined in for a rousing chorus of Blue is the New Green. Blue is the new green, sang Diva. Blue is the new green. Well, I'm talking to you about a cool new scene. Let me hear you kick it with the flow, yeah, yeah. Jimmy took a guitar solo that made a big splash. And he started rhyming. Everywhere in the ocean, fish like me and Inks are winding up in fishing tanks and on people's dinner plates. But there's still time to make it work if we could come together today. The people and the fishes and the turtles and sea rays, baby. Blue is the new green. Said blue is a new green, and I'm talking to you about a cool new scene. Say blue, 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 blue. It's a new green. Everybody, thanks for going with the flow with me. My name is Jimmy Leslie. It sure has been an honor. Jeremy Hoenig on the... Right on. Thanks for supporting sustainable seafood. Come on over to the table here. Let me tell you about the Guitarfish Festival. We got a marine music hootenanny going on there. My friend June's got a hootenanny going on this Sunday. And I got some recordings over there of a live performance of Guitarfish. Go ahead and grab one. Just throw something in the jar. Thank you one more time. Thank you, California Academy of Sciences NightLife. Thank you.